Welcome back to She Will Empower. I'm Jessica Cherry, women's empowerment and breakthrough coach, NLP practitioner, award-winning writer, community director, sound bath girly, and your Tuesday morning host on 94.3 KWVH Wimberley Valley Radio's Wake Up Club. Today, I've got such a fun treat for you. I'm here in the studio with two very special celebrity guests from Annie's hit TV show, The Mother Flip, Kristy Etheredge and Rebecca Franchione. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I am so excited to have you both here today. We had so much fun on the Wake Up Club with our GM here. Such great conversation. Your raccoon story lives rent-free in my head. Slightly traumatized, very intrigued, and I totally want to binge watch all of your shows.
Thank you.
Of course. So I want to know, tell us, how did you two all meet and what led you to starting working together on the Mother Flip? Tell us all about that.
Well, I moved here in July of 2020 with my family, and I didn't meet Kristy, though, until November of 2020. I moved here. My dad fell. I had to go back to Arkansas and renovate his house so he could stay in it, not move to a retirement home. And I came back in November, and Kristy was walking up the hill. We are actually neighbors who have become best friends and business partners and now have this amazing show. And we just clicked.
I love it.
It was automatic soul sisters.
Oh, I love it. It's meant to be, right? You were meant to walk and
Truly.
you were meant to be outside just at that time.
Yes.
Beautiful. Looking back, and when you think about the first episode of The Mother Flip and all the emotions that you had and the one that just aired, how has that show evolved since you first started?
Well, when we first started, the fact that we had to purchase and secure 10 homes within a matter of a month and a half just to even start filming was a huge challenge. So it was just survival mode. Get the homes, figure it out. And in episode 1, and they actually filmed them a little bit kind of out of order. We didn't know what, timeline they would be presented in. And so it's interesting from the first episode to the last episode, how we just have evolved. We already had systems in place, but those systems became even more refined as we went throughout the season.
I love that. And 10 homes is a lot.
It is a lot.
In that short amount of time, too. Wow.
For sure. We filmed July 10th through December 14th. So we had to do 10 homes over the course of 5 months. And we actually ended up buying an 11th house that did not get approved.
That's right.
And I forgot about that until just now.
Yeah.
So we started that one in November when we were still finishing up the season. And so I feel like we did 11 homes.
It feels like that was just go, right? Like,
It is. Once you sign on the line with a network, there's no going back. And I think a lot of times people would question, is this really going to happen? But once Rebecca and I decide that we're going to do something, there's nothing that's going to stop us.
I love it. Like, buckle up, Buttercup. We're doing this.
Right.
Well, let's talk about your partnership. How do you balance your roles and your strengths between each other? And also, what does each of you bring to the table that the other one doesn't? I mean, I know that you're neighbors, but like, this is also a business partnership. What's your relationship like?
I think it's excellent. We have our strengths and weaknesses as everyone does. And, I love design. I love walking into a house and I can do everything in my head. I want to push back that wall 3 feet and I want to rip out this shower tub combo. And I just always walk in with this great vision of what I want to do. And then Kristy, she's so good with, the logistics and the project management. And so I think it's a great relationship because both of our strengths are kind of our forte, and neither of us really want to do the other.
Right. And it's recognizing in a friend, whether it's a friend or family member, each other's strengths, honoring those strengths and staying in your lane and letting the ego go.
Yes.
Right? It's focusing on, hey, you do this well. I respect that. I do this well. And we can work together and generate income for our families.
I love that. Have you both always been like that?
Well,
with your strengths?
I think so. I just, I have lifelong friendships. And so I have friends that my childhood best friend moved across the street when I was 7. And so it's really been nice for her. She wants nothing to do with Limelight at all, like nothing to do with anything television wise. And, when we were filming, she would call me. She goes, I'm so glad you met Kristy because I would never want to do this with you in a million years. And then Kristy, it's right up her alley. She was in theater in high school, and we're both such creative minds, and it just kind of works.
How long were you both neighbors before you met each other?
Well, July. So I moved in July and then November. And so actually
very short.
My daughter was having a Friendsgiving and Kristy was walking up the hill. Like I said, I live at the top of the hill. She lives at the bottom across the street. And I said, hey, can you take a picture of my daughter and I with the sunset? I have Mount Baldy in the background, the top of the hill. And so we just started, I feel like walking the very next day.
Really, it was, Jessica, so I live in an older neighborhood and I was just bored, right? I would go walking every day by myself with the dogs. I have keys to several of the neighbors' homes because they're older neighbors and, sometimes you got to check on them. And I was just so excited that a young family had moved into our neighborhood. And I was just hoping one day, we could meet, right? But our friendship started out as on a health journey, right? We wanted initially just to go walk. But our walks would turn into, sometimes we would one time we ended up at the liquor store, and not to buy liquor.
Not to buy liquor.
But because we had walked so far, and we were both new to the neighborhood, and we didn't know where we were, so we had to call my husband to come and pick us up. It was way past the apartment. So we live in Wood Creek, and we walked to the Wood Creek apartments and there's a liquor store over there. And it was because I have my older dog, Tess, who needed some water. So I was using their water to give her some. And I'm like, I can't even believe we walked this far. And so a friendship like that is so rare that you can walk somewhere and you not even know. It's almost
where you're
like,
going.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going, but you have each other. And so that's all that matters.
It's just feels like synchronicity, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just meeting someone on a different level, a soul level, to where, we're able to brainstorm and collaborate, even though we were walking for our health. At the same time, we were always thinking up these ideas. I mean, new business ideas, taking calls and with family, and they're just super fun. I mean, that's really how our relationship started.
With walks.
With walks all through the hill country.
And that's, we call ourselves a walking realtor sometimes because through our walks, we're also meeting people. When we're together, we have this amazing energy. I love her energy. We are like magnets. And at the same time, when we're meeting neighbors, we start in discussions about their house or their sprinkler system or their landscaping. And so all these things are just happening, opportunities happening as we are walking. And that was fun too, because I'd never experienced that with anyone else. Typically, it's just me going around talking and, talking to the neighbors and seeing what's going on. So it's interesting because a lot of people don't take that time, right? They're walking, they put their headphones on, and they're just focused. And I do that too sometimes. But you can really find out more about your environment and just the people around you just by taking off those headphones and looking around.
Yes. And that walk literally changed both of your lives.
For sure.
It did. Those were some of our best brainstorming sessions. We had many ideas, like she said, and sometimes we'd walk at midnight. She carries bear spray, and she has a headlamp and reflective vest and a fanny pack full of water.
You're not getting run over.
They are
no. And a police.
reflective.
Wait, she's got the police light.
Yes.
She has a police spotlight too. It is hysterical, and I just bring myself.
And Rebecca, we can't get run over,
Oh yes, it's fantastic. So I think we get a lot of laughs from people that we don't even know see us.
Hey, but they see you.
Oh yes,
and they don't run you over.
In fact, we saw a neighbor once, and we met a neighbor, and she goes, "I used to see you girls," and you're like, and y'all don't skip a beat, and I would just always laugh at you guys because. She said, I always knew when y'all were coming because I'd hear, and then it'd be you guys. And so now we know her.
Aw,
yeah.
I love it. And then from there, you created this journey together. And I'm assuming that this journey hasn't been just, roses and rainbows and unicorns and all the things that make it beautiful. What has been the hardest moment since you two have joined together on this journey and faced together? What did you get once you were through the hardest moment together as a team?
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I just, I always like the thorns, right? I love flowers, and I feel like, you have to have the rain, you have to have the storms for the flowers to grow. And so I think everything that we've been through, the trials and tribulations, have just made us stronger. And I actually always kind of welcome, I know earlier we talked about life curveballs and all that, but I actually don't mind the curveballs because that kind of makes you who you are. You have to have some kind of, like true grit. You have to have some kind of determination. And, you have to create opportunities. They don't just fall in your lap. Like we hustled for 2 years to get this TV show. It was a journey.
No grit, no pearl.
That's right. That's right. Diamonds and pressure.
We're talking multiple interviews, videoing ourselves, believing in ourselves when people thought, oh, those two, what are they doing?
Yes.
I mean, we said
we're going after our dreams.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of naysayers in that journey because a lot of people are sitting wanting, but they're not sitting doing, because you can sit and do. And you can sit and want. And there's a difference between the two.
Oh, my God. Y'all are speaking my language. And the time will pass. The time will pass whether you sit and want or you sit and do.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that about you two. In what ways do you see your show, The Mother Flip, impacting these societal expectations that, like we were saying, oh, y'all are women and maybe they look differently. How do you see The Mother Flip showing that, yeah, we can totally do this?
I think, for both of us, we're moms and we were both business owners in the past. And we are both, COVID kind of shut down her event company. I moved. I was volunteering full time at my kid's former school district. And we were just ready for this new challenge. And so it is a male dominated flipping houses, construction, we rarely see women. I'm telling you, rarely do we see women. And, we built 2 houses here in Wimberley on Flight Acres. All male, everything was male, and so many men were, giving us these crazy bids. They were all over the place because they didn't know that we had the knowledge that we had. And so it was just kind of a good experience for us to build before the show started. But for us, like I said, as moms, we both have daughters. We have sons as well. Mm-hmm. But to show your daughters that you can go in any workforce in America. You can go do anything you want in America. This is a land of opportunity.
And even though it's a male-dominated industry, women do not need to ask for permission to be in this space.
Okay.
We belong in this space and being visible in these leadership roles because as mothers, we are the most excellent project managers. We understand the emotions of a house. We understand the functions of a house. We understand budgets. And when you don't need to hesitate, right? You just need to own that. And men are going to push back, right? Because they're used to doing things a certain way. But once you find the right team, they get it and they understand how women can really enhance a home, enhance the whole operational experience because we are excellent communicators.
Totally. And I love that you were on TV and women can see this in live time, right? And I mean, in our age, happening.
And two, I think for us, we're not just talking heads. So I think a lot of times on these shows, the female role is just to show up. There was one show I watched a little clip and the host had her nails done and she was wearing this beautiful white sweatshirt. I'm like, okay, Kristy and I, we don't ever have nails.
Never have nails.
Because we're out there doing the work. Like we are getting down and dirty.
I've got scratches all over me right now.
It is always, she scratched herself yesterday hauling something. Yes. So I think for us, it's just been such a journey and it's just getting started for us.
Yes, it is. And I want to go back to the Mother Flip and all these projects that you're doing. Can you share a project or episode that challenged you both creatively and how do you manage the challenge?
For me, episode 4 with the critters was the biggest challenge because it was the scariest. It was also in a neighborhood that is up and coming, so it really had to take us to believe in that house because of how much work it needed to be done.
Hold on. What type of critters are we talking about?
We're talking raccoons. We're talking rats.
My goodness.
And squatters. And there's just so much wrong with that house. And we actually didn't have much time when we purchased it. I mean, we just had 24 hours because other people were looking at the house. So we knew it was a good deal. But at the same time, once we got in it and really got in it, we were like, whoa, this has way more than we anticipated. But at the same time, that particular house is the most up-and-coming neighborhood. Right now, I feel like it is the best house in the neighborhood, and I feel like we are starting a movement in that community. We met all the neighbors. I really hope that we can go back and just continue on to build in that community.
Well, and someone the other day that we met said, oh, they had a friend that lived in that neighborhood and they were so impressed with what we did. And so it was kind of rewarding for us, because we didn't know, oh, so-and-so, my friend lives in that neighborhood, and they were watching everything we were doing. And so I think that's cool too. If you're transforming a house, not just on the show, but if you live in the neighborhood, to kind of drive by, kind of like building a new house, right? So you drive by and there's something new every single day.
And to know that the new owner is going to start a community garden, that is impressive. And that's part of the stories that we don't ever get to show on the show. And I think that's really amazing. I would like to do a follow-up with all these new homeowners.
Yes, I'm assuming that there's so much that doesn't get on the show, like these one-to-one.
I think 90% doesn't get on the show.
Right.
Oh.
I think you get a little sliver, and I hate to say that, but I think, some of the best moments Kristy and I had were never seen.
Aw.
Yeah, they just weren't.
It's just part of it. And it's also empowering to go to the neighborhoods, and when you talk to the neighbors and have ladies that they're trying to keep their yard kept and everything, but they've been looking at eyesores for 30 or 40 years, and then we come in and she's just like, it's like a jewel. I finally get to walk out my door and look at that, and just when family comes over, there's a sense of pride, and that's always something that they've wanted for their neighborhood.
I love that. And seeing you two ladies do it probably gives them confidence to tackle on other projects that they probably looked at for such a long time and were like, I can't do it. Right?
For sure.
We want to make this approachable. I hope for the Mother Flip, I really would like us to be able to go out into other communities, even in other states, and just be able to teach women or even men, right, that there are certain things that you can do and just not be afraid of it. Right?
Totally.
I do believe that you do need to get educated on it. I mean, we've done a ton of research.
We learn every day.
2 houses before we even did the flip to really understand the nuts and bolts of every aspect of bringing a house to life. But at the same time, you do need to start, and you can start taking classes, and that's something I would like to do for us.
I'm with you on that. That's amazing. I want to talk about the TV side of things. And like you said, you're out there for the world to see. When critics or doubts come your way, how do you support each other and not let that get into your mind? And how do you move forward with that? Because like you said, there are things that happen, and the voices, all the opinions, all that. How do you manage all that?
So I was a college football coach's wife for 17 years. So it means nothing to me. It bounces right off. I'm just, everyone's going to have an opinion. And like I've told her this for years. She and I could give away $1 million and people are going to complain that we didn't give 2. And so there's always going to be naysayers. And so you just have to realize everyone's entitled to their opinion, and we just have to keep moving forward, honor and respect, everyone and their opinion. However, it doesn't determine or define who we are or our path.
Right.
Exactly.
We are working towards a goal, and everything that we are doing is positive. We really want to change that. And like you said, people are going to have their opinions and the critics are going to be there, but that's not going to stop us. And it is interesting, too, to get feedback from fans on saying, oh, I would have done this with the house and I would have done that with the house, which is awesome, amazing. But people are also not understanding the timelines, the very, very, very strict, tight timelines that we had to do for the show. So sometimes there's only so much that we can do.
Oh, yeah. I can totally see that. I mean, there's a lot of assumption that goes when you watch a TV show and a lot of criticism, but they don't know the full picture of what's really happening, right?
Right. And they don't get to see the rest of the aspects of the home because there's not enough time in the show. But we're responsible for the other bedrooms, the other bathrooms, all aspects of that house to flip it for maximum dollars.
And you probably don't get to choose what gets aired and what doesn't.
Of course not.
Absolutely
No.
not.
No.
They film us, and then 24 hours later, it's shipped off. We never see that footage again.
Oh my goodness. Are you okay with that? Obviously
I'm
you have to
fine
be.
with it. I
have
trust
to be.
A&E. I trust Joe Weinstock, our boss. And he's the president of the production company, Rose Rock, that
wonderful.
believed in us. And I've known him since 2018. And I have such faith in him that he's never going to lead us down a path that we're not meant to go down. I always tell Kristy, God doesn't deliver our mail to other people's houses. And so I feel like what's meant for us is meant for us. And I always just have faith that, they're going to show us in the best light at times, right? There's some things that happen. Well, at times I'm like, oh, I was all sweaty and can't we just airbrush that out? Because you can see just the lines of sweat in episode 3.
Well, that's what makes it real.
Gosh.
Yes. But it's just like
it was so hot.
Day, no AC. We're just sweating. And you're just like, okay, this is what we're living in.
And we didn't have hair and makeup. We're season 1. We wore exercise clothes. Like I said, we're not getting our nails done and wearing designer outfits on this show.
No,
we are wearing our exercise clothes because we were doing the work.
But it makes you relatable.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't change it. I mean, that you've got to wear that. We can't have stuff that's getting caught and it's just so hot.
We rip pants constantly. Got just all the holes in shirts. It was a hot mess.
Because you're in the summer in Wimberley.
Yes.
Or the Wimberley out. It's hot.
It was hot. It was
July.
106 when we started filming. And then when we finished filming the last week of December or midweek or mid-December, it was like probably in the 30s. And we had a scene where we had to wear tank tops and we're just like, oh my gosh, this is freezing. But they had, a little heater nearby. And then our sweet little friend, Kelly, who worked on the show, she would have a little blanket for us. So we'd be sitting there trying not to our teeth chattering. We're trying to talk and it's like 35 and we're in tank tops.
Oh my goodness. I want to see that episode.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, what advice would you give to other women who want to start a show or a business and want to have a business partner, kind of go down the path that you are in? And what would you say to them? Would you say, yes, it's totally possible? What would you say?
I think everything in life is possible. I was raised by such an amazing family. They always instilled in me, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want in life. There was never any, you can't do this or you can't do that in my family growing up. And so my Nona always had the best advice ever. Like, just close your eyes and jump in the swimming pool. And, you can do everything. And so I had a good friend, John Williams, a few months ago. He said, Rebecca, you have the entire ocean in front of you. Why would you stay in a pond with ripples?
Ooh.
It's a
Mic
great one.
drop, mic drop.
Yes.
There. Yes. I love that.
And I agree. I tell women and just other friends, like, if you don't have the confidence to start, find another friend that believes in you, that can keep and help you be accountable for goals that you're trying to reach. That's very, very helpful. You've got to surround yourself by people or with people that believe in you, that are going to ask you and follow up and say, hey, you had this idea. Have you pursued that? What steps have you taken to get further along?
Love that. Your circle is so important.
Yes.
I totally agree
and
with you.
sometimes it takes time, though, to see who deserves a seat at your table and who doesn't. And so I feel like, sometimes you get in situations and you're navigating these uncharted waters, which we were with the show. And then you kind of realize, you got to tighten your circle. And I always say like onion layers, the inner one for me is God, and then my family, and then best friends. But you learn along the way who really needs to be sitting at your table and who doesn't.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that you said that. So I want to talk about looking back, because I feel like you've both grown so much, yes, on this show, but also in spiritual, internally, you've grown as women, as mothers, all the things. Is there something that you would have changed differently? Or would you not change a single thing?
I don't think I would have changed anything. When we started, I was married when we started trying to, get the show, and went through a divorce. And so for me as a single mom, it was starting over in my 40s, which isn't easy. I mean, to start over financially, and then, the household changes, everything. And so I don't think I would change anything, because I think there were so many things going on. And I always believe God doesn't deliver my mail at other people's houses. And so I just kept thinking, and I would tell Kristy, God didn't bring us this far to get this far. And so I wouldn't change anything. Me personally, she may have wanted to change something. I wouldn't change anything.
I wouldn't change anything either. And here's why. Because we needed that time. First of all, we were developing our friendship, right? And so we needed that time to nourish that and to be able to feed off of each other's energy and to pull each other's strengths out. In addition, while we were working and videoing and filming and just creating and building 2 new homes, we needed that time to learn more, to be more efficient. And so when the opportunity rose, we were able to take it on and just lead. And I feel like we were training for a marathon, but instead of 26 miles, we ended up doing 100 miles. And we needed that training time to get where we are now.
And I don't think the marathon ever ends, though. Sometimes I feel like the finish line is near. I have closings in the next 2 weeks on houses I recently flipped, and I'm so excited. But then I don't think I want to stop. I think you just kind of keep going.
No finish line.
No, there's never a finish line.
It was just to get through the show. You set these goals, right? Let's just do this. Let's, and just get through, and then just keep on going.
I love that. Speaking about this show, where do you see yourself in the show, like, in 5 years?
I would love for us to win Emmy Awards, of course.
Ooh, yeah.
And, we talked about having Mother Flip University, where we go out and teach women how to do this, how to get started, because there's so many ways you can go about this of any business, right? Any new business. You just I think what she said was so important. You have to find someone to believe in you. I grew up in a family that always believed in me, but for so many people, they don't have that strength coming in from somebody else. They have to dig deep within themselves to find it. But it just kind of makes it exponentially better if you have that partner that kind of has the same vision as you.
I love that. And speaking of vision, what kind of legacy do you want to leave through your work? What does all of this mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, I, started 2 nonprofit food organizations, did Angel Tree for years. I give back to my hometown quite often. And I want this show's success to be able to for me to give back on a much bigger level. So for me, my legacy is I just want to keep dropping seeds of hope for people. I'm from Arkansas. It is a very poverty-stricken state. And I want to be able to do big things in my home state, because poverty is a vicious cycle. It's hard to get out of. But if you, like she said, this goes back to what she said, if you just have someone to believe in you, and if you can just create some kind of sense of hope in people that are in, despair, or just they never see themselves getting out, that's what I hope we can do.
Yeah, and mine is, we always talk about having the Hope Channel.
Yes, we'd love the Hope Channel.
But is creating that environment, that nurturing environment, to where people feel safe, to where they can learn, right? I want to be able to create that safe environment or safe program to where people find renovating and building approachable. And you don't have to be experts, but so many times people just don't start because they're so afraid. So I want to take that fear out of it and just make it more approachable and empower more people to do things on their own.
You want to help them get the first step.
Yes.
Just start.
Just lead them to the water, right? You just got to lead them to the water. That's the ocean, and the whole world's in front of them.
You two ladies sound so amazing. Like, I just want to give y'all a hug. All right. We are going to do a lightning round. These are fun questions. I just want to get to know you just a little bit better.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Are y'all early birds or night owls?
Night owls. We walk, like I said, we walk sometimes midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. We'll be texting and she's like, do you just want to go on a walk? And we'll walk.
It's because our brains get fired up and we've done everything that we need. We've cooked, we've put the kids to bed, and now we can walk and think.
It's you time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I have that at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
If you had to flip a house in any city in the world, where would it be?
It would be in my hometown. I would do it for free. You know, we pitched numerous times a show giving back. I just, you know, my hometown, it's so amazing and I love it. I'm so proud to be from Fort Smith, Arkansas. And so I would just love to be able to do houses for the people there for free. So that would be my dream.
I, too, would like to do a flip in my hometown. It's very, very, very small. At the same time, I also feel like I have not traveled that much. And so I would like to be able to go to another poor country, understand the materials that they have to work with, and learn how we could impact them. And we've often talked to our friend Bradley about doing a mission trip. And I feel like we could really do that. I mean, we're meeting so many investors and people that do have funding. And so to be able to impact one where we grew up, our hometowns, but also just another country, another specific area where they need certain building materials and stuff would just be life-changing for me.
Both of you ladies have great hearts. Seriously.
Thank you.
Dream celebrity guest on the Mother Flip.
Oh, mine would be Maya Angelou because she's my favorite poet and she was a phenomenal author and very well-spoken woman. And I always looked up for her. She spent a little bit of her time growing up in Arkansas. And so I just think someone with such character and such wisdom. And she had a little bit, of like smart wit, like, kind of. There was always a tiny little underlying thing of sass about her too. And I just think to have a strong woman, she's since passed 2014, would have been incredible for me.
Well, I just love Jennifer Garner. I love her fake cooking show, and I think we could just have so much fun together. I feel like she really works to protect her family, and she's always stayed authentic to who she is, and just allows herself. We make mistakes, right? And so she's very transparent about that, and I think we could have so much fun.
Yes, I love watching her on social media.
Yes.
Go-to hype song before a shoot.
Well, we have 3.
Yes.
So we have Sia Unstoppable, we have Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, and we have Eye of the Tiger, which when we listen to that, we do air squats.
And Living on a Prayer.
Oh, Living on a Prayer is another big one for us.
I love it.
Yes.
All right. It's Friday night at a Mexican restaurant. What's your order?
Queso, guac, salsa, fajitas.
Ooh.
Shrimp,
Yeah.
chicken, and beef combo.
Mexican martini,
Yes.
chalupas, and some guac.
She loves chalupas.
Addicted.
They're good.
She loves them.
Favorite genre of music?
I love Motown. I love old school R&B. I went to see Motown musical with my dad and my brother in New York. And when I go home to Arkansas and visit my dad, we get in his car and we cruise around my hometown listening to Motown. And so actually yesterday we came back from Dallas and we listened to My Girl and The Temptations.
yes.
And we listened to
good.
so much good, Teenager in Love. We listened to all these old, really good songs. So I love all the songs that bring back the memories with my father.
Well, I just love anything 80s, and I can
me
just
too.
get
Me too.
into it.
Yes.
We have so much fun, but I also love country, which is not a favorite taste of Rebecca's, but it reminds me of when I listen to country, just being on the tractor, being at the farm with my family.
Aw, that's sweet. Finish this sentence together. Women are most powerful when...
They're together.
Women are most powerful when they see strength in other women and light the way for them to find their path.
Okay, I don't know where the applause button is, but that is yes, yes, yes. Ladies, it has been such a treat having you on She Will Empower. Thank you so much for bringing your story, your strength, and a whole lot of inspiration to the studio today. And to our listeners, this is what it's all about. Women showing up, flipping the script, and owning your power. You've been listening to She Will Empower on 94.3 KWVH Wimberley Valley Radio. I'm Jessica Cherry reminding you, never dim your fire. I'll see you next time with more stories, strategies, and voices that'll help you raise higher and step fully into your power.
Thank you.
Thank you.